I start designing, I just wanted to come back again and just talk about how excited I am about the Flower Emporium collection. I've tried to, go through the ephemera, the big pack, and kind of organize that a little bit better than what I had in my unboxing video, just by color and style groups and that kind of thing. But just going through the papers and deciding what to use first and all that, I'm just so impressed with this collection and how they have taken Vicki's bright mixed media style and merged that with the 49 and Market aesthetic. But they really have, and every single paper is just so interesting, and I'm really excited. So anyway, I'll go ahead and move these things out of the way. And what I've done so far is taken the quilted paper from, it's paper number 2, I believe, starter page. Yeah, paper number 2, the A side. And I have fussy cut this out, and then I'm going to adhere it to starters paper number 3. I just happen to have this thing in my stash. I don't know what it was, maybe from a pizza thing or something, but I'm gonna have to trim it down a little bit. I thought I would place it underneath this design if I trim it a little bit so it won't show, and that could elevate that off the page a little bit. And then I've just got some potential ephemera pieces right there. And there is just so much in this collection. But anyway, if you're a subscriber for the limited edition kit, you're going to be so excited with this month's kit. And, there'll be kits until they're sold out. So, grab this while you can, because, I think you're really going to have a lot of fun. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start working. I'm going to move all these pieces over to the side, and I'm going to take this round circle and I'm going to make it a little smaller, cut off the banding strip, and we'll get going. So here we go. All right, so here I am, just reducing the size of that corrugated cardboard so that I can put it under the quilted pattern that I fussy cut out. I really like that piece so much, and there's so many ways you could use that. You could cut it up and do it in half, or just take bits of it and use it here and there. It's just a really pretty design. I like it, and I wanted to use that. I thought it was just so representative of this entire collection. So anyway, I have taken my vintage distress ink, and I'm distressing my edges to cover up, the kind of white core of the paper there, if there was any, so that would be covered, and also so the, wheel would show, if you will. And so I'm just adding some of my berry glue, and this one dries really fast, so I have to move quickly with that one. So anyway, I do know that I want to center that in my page, although I did think at one time about kind of offsetting it to the left a little bit, so there'd be plenty of room for the bicycle ephemera piece, but I decided that, it would work either way. So you can turn this pattern any direction you wanted to, but I was going to kind of come in and embellish with pinks, and so I decided I wanted the burgundy piece to be kind of at an 8 o'clock position, and so that's why I decided on that. And then you can just see me trimming down my photo, which I should have done off camera. But anyway, you get to see that part. There's some cut aparts on that are from the back side of the laser cut pack, from that cover. And then before I get going, I decided to add a piece of white cardstock underneath my paper, which I wouldn't ordinarily do. But because I'm putting that heavy piece of corrugated cardboard on there, and that's so large, I just wanted to have a really sturdy foundation for that to rest on, because I'm thinking about putting this piece in a shadow box, so I can look at it here in my scrap room for a while. So anyway, I put that on there, and it is Vicki Boutin foundation paper, so the two of them together are going to work nicely. Now, I don't think I mentioned in the unboxing video, but the paper in the Flower Emporium collection is a really nice GSM. So you're going to really like that paper. It's awesome. And here I've used my Tim Holtz ruler that's got the 0 point in the center, just so I can align the center, as best as I can. And I, did figure that I could go ahead and add that bicycle over on the right hand side when I get ready to. But I used that little piece that I had fussy cut. That was one of my original ideas. But I bring out this pink ledger paper, if you recall that. It's got a little pink polka dot design up in the corner of it. And I thought that would be nice to be, an additional photo mat or a photo mat for my photo. This is a photo I've used before. It's a stock photo, and it's just really good for your spring or summer projects if you don't have a photo that you like to use. But the yellow is going to work, the green is going to work, and then the little straw hat is kind of a bonus. I knew I wanted to use one of those scalloped card or chipboard, stickers, either the green one or the pink one, underneath my photo, because they were really cute and I wanted to use as many as possible. I try to use as many of the embellishments in the kit as I can so that you have the opportunity to see them. But I was really going to go with pink because I'm adding some pink of, I think they're daisy or echinacea, maybe more echinacea flowers that are up in the upper left hand corner. And then, of course, I'm going to have the yellow down in the lower right. And then I will also add one of the pink echinacea flowers to my yellow cluster. But anyway, I kind of go back and forth with, am I going to use the pink one? Am I going to use the green one? Ultimately, spoiler alert, I did use the green one, but that was just because I had a lot of pink already on the page, and so I thought the green would pull together the more minimal pieces of green from the leaves, and then there's a little bit of it in some of those little paper bits. And so most of my video today is me just being really picky about where my embellishments are going to be. This is my process, and I just audition pieces until I get exactly what I want, or as best as I can. And so I have to try them a number of different ways and look at them, and then I'll change one thing, and then I have to go back and change everything else, just trying it one more time to be certain that it's like I want it to be. And so right now I do have my florals basically like I want them. And so I'm going to go ahead and, glue down my photo and get her all ready. And like I said, I am going to be putting this one in a shadow box, or a shadow box type frame anyway, so I can enjoy it for a little bit. So I'm going to be elevating that piece on a couple of pieces of corrugated cardboard that, I'm always collecting packages, whether it's, Amazon, or if it's from scrapbook.com, or if it's from my kit. There's always corrugated cardboard around, and I do like to use that. It's nice and sturdy to use under your photos or embellishments, wherever you're going to use it. And so I went ahead and got that prepared, and here I'm coming back with these flowers again, and I'm glad that I did take time to get them just like I wanted them, because I do ultimately change from my original idea of their position. And I hadn't scrapbooked in a month, you know, because of the tragedy in our family and dealing with that. And so it was an opportunity for me to be creative and, you know, make something pretty. And so I wanted it to look as nice as it could, and so I would enjoy it more down the road. So here you can see me bringing out my T-square just to see if my photo is squared up like I want it to be. It doesn't look so square on my video for some reason, but in real life it really is. But now I'm coming back in with the pink ones and trying to figure out how I want those. That one that I just stuck in there, you know, the little cone of it should really be going, you know, right side up because that's how they stand. I do like the little grouping of the pink flowers because they're enough that you can tuck in and yet you still have a substantial amount that are going to come out and, you know, be seen on your page. There is a little pink floral on one of the papers that are out right about the 10 o'clock position, and that's on the papers itself, and that was one thing that led me to choose the pink flowers to go up there. And then also they go nicely with the burgundy in that 8 o'clock position. So there you can see I do go with the green chipboard. That's from the chipboard pack. And then I'm taking my yellow flowers and just kind of twirling them a little bit and making them a little bit more curved instead of being so completely flat. Then they kind of bobbed around and I regretted it for a moment, but in the long hand, I do like that they look more realistic that way. Sunflowers are kind of a representative item in our family. Actually, my son-in-law's family, but we've kind of adopted that. So I'm just kind of going with that these are sunflowers. They might not be, but that's what my photo is, so that's what we're doing. So I use a combination of my berry glue and also foam squares and foam tape. And that's what I'm going to do here on this floral piece right there. And I decided not to put it as high as I was originally going to go because I was thinking that I wanted to add in some of the pink, you know, one of the pink flowers, which I do. And there I'm going to put foam squares on these flowers right here. And I did that mainly because when I use the berry glue, it sticks really fast. And just in case I wanted to move my flowers any, the foam squares are a little more forgiving. So you can go ahead and reposition those if you need to, at least for a while. If you do it gently, you don't want to tear your papers, of course. And so there I'm just coming back with that next one, and I'm going to tuck it up there behind. And then ultimately I'm going to be bringing in a little bumblebee to place on there. And then I decided to put a little foam square underneath that green polka dot floral just to keep it in place and so it wouldn't stick out and go in the wrong direction, especially since this will probably be hanging on the wall. And then that little bicycle is so cute. You can put a little bunch of flowers in there, which is what I did. But I'm lining the wheels of the bicycle up with the bottom of my paper. And so that's kind of my guideline. And I'm going to prop this up with some foam squares to make it a little bit more dimensional. You may remember I like texture and I like dimension. And so I really like to build flowers upon flowers upon flowers if I can. So anywhere there I'm trying out or auditioning the Hey There, which is from the ephemera pack, you know, as one of my titles. But then I'm also considering this little pink piece that says Sunshine on My Face. That's from the chipboard pack. And then I do also use some of the pink hearts that are from the ephemera pack. And, you know, I put one kind of at about a 9 o'clock position, ultimately on the left side. And then I bring another one down beneath my yellow flowers and place it there. I'm not sure if that's caught on the video or not, but we'll see here in a moment. So anyway, I know my video is a little extra long today, but I wanted to go ahead and have a good play. There's really nothing wrong that I need to cut out particularly, except, I just wanted you to see the process, and I'm enjoying the process and having a little fun here, so I'm just going with it. And there I'm tucking that one in right behind, and that's a nice little cluster there together. And then this is where I grab the other pink one, and fiddle a little bit with them. Am I going to stick those petals out, or am I going to go ahead and put the, I guess you call it stamen or cone part of it like it's supposed to be, which is what I ultimately do. So there, I'm going to tuck it in right there. This month's kit is amazing. It's more than just the Vintage Emporium. We have flowers from little Birdie. We have a wonderful stencil from Vicki Boutin. We have some papers from American Crafts. So there is a lot in this kit to work with, and I challenge you to try to use it all because there's a lot in there. So there you can see me playing with the embellishments, and I've got that polka dot heart right about where I want it to be, and then I've got the solid pink heart more at about a 5 o'clock position, which is not ultimately where it lands. But there I am distressing the bumblebee, and I'm going to position that on one of the flowers just to be a little cute little embellishment there. I really like how that looks. Using bumblebees are particularly one of my favorite things to use with flower clusters, because that's nature and it's representative of that. So anyway, I play around with my title and subtitle there. Ultimately, I do choose Hey There as my primary title, and I distress it with some vintage photo ink, and then I use the little chipboard piece that says Sunshine on My Face, and I stick it right about where you see it at this moment. And so we're going to have a title subtitle situation. And there I'm just trying to clean up my space as I work. It kind of annoys me sometimes when I see all that stuff on the side. Those one little bits of leaves I was going to use on this project, but I decided I wanted to stick with the polka dot, and then I'm going to use that bright colored green and blue leaf cluster on another project that you'll be seeing soon. So there I am mounting my Hey There, which goes kind of cute with the little peekaboo photo. There'll be details down below about how to order a kit and everything that you might want to know about joining the kit club. We have 4 different kinds of kits, and we also have things that we're adding all the time, like there's going to be a new journal kit that's coming out that's like the mixed media kit or the flower kit that you can subscribe to, as well as the 4 different kinds of primary kits. The album kit is like the creative kit, but the album materials are included. So there you see me sticking in that other piece of polka dot leaf, and that's going to be just to mimic the one from below. I appreciate you coming by and watching me as I fiddle with my process. That's what scrapbooking is all about. You have fun deciding where to put your elements and what's going to look best and what do you have left. And when you're on a design team, you also have to consider what do you want to save and hold back for another project where it might look a little bit better. So that's another thing. I usually divide my kit into 4s, 4 different groups of paper. I distribute my flowers into 4s, and then any important embellishments that I want for a particular layout, I put those with the papers that they're going to go with, so I don't accidentally use it ahead of time. So my projects are pretty much planned basically as far as what I'm going to use ahead of time. But in this kit, there's so many embellishments that there's a lot to choose from. And there I'm fiddling with that little dot. I thought that just added another cute little piece of yellow to the page to complement my sunflowers. I'm calling them sunflowers. And then I'm using a little teal butterfly right there. He goes really good in that spot. And then I'm adding that sweet little laser cut bow right there, which, you know, you're really probably supposed to put it around a bunch of flowers, but I thought that looked really cute right there. And so I used that. And I do some splattering towards the end with Adina Wakely glossy spray. But there I'm using my tool to get that right in place, and then to just move it just a little bit so it'll be straight. Up ahead I'm going to be showing you my close-ups and my final project, but here you see me covering my photo so I can get ready to, you know, accent with some white spray. And that's really all the only mixed media I do in this project, and I don't do a whole lot in most of the kits. So thanks for coming by today. I hope you enjoy watching, and here's the close-ups, and I'll see you soon. So much to look at. Thanks again for coming by. I appreciate you all.